Here we have, in the top right of Tropical Sacrifice, the Team Liquid Terran. In the red, Kelazhur. And in the bottom left, the Korean Protoss with, is their logo an owl? Team GP. It's NightMare. I don't have a favorite in this match. I think this will be very close, and I'm excited to see who's coming out in first, as the winner of this match will be out of the group moving on. Sigh of relief. Getting up at 10 a.m. will have been justified and rewarded. Kelazhur with an NG Bay block to make things interesting and difficult to kick it out. One of the, Protoss players have been getting away with blocking other people's expansions in pretty much every matchup, including Protoss versus Protoss, for too long. I'm always happy to see a Terran player turn it around a bit here. NightMare just slaps down and he finds that it's all the way finished except for that last moment. A Zealot is on the way to try to dislodge it, but this definitely throws off NightMare's early game plans. Kelazhur against Silky went with a nice, safe style, making sure that he could get to the mid-game without any hiccups here. It appears so far he's interested in doing the same up against NightMare. He doesn't have that early expand. Instead, he's opting for a factory before expand. He's got just the one gas, though, so maybe a Hellion opener. Yeah. The NG Bay will be dislodged. He should be able to get everything but that 75% restocking fee, or 25% restocking fee, sorry. But guess what? Oh, the Reaper comes in just in time to kill the... Oh, he missed the probe! Oh, NightMare! Beautiful grenade actually gets it, so... Another probe came down anyways. Well... I think it's still a win for Kelazhur. He doesn't get the probe, but... This has obviously thrown NightMare off. Reaper gets into the main. A second Stalker. Twilight on the way. Stalker, Zealot coming across, but Kelazhur expanded on the high ground, knowing that this sort of strategy prompts increased unit production just to deal with the NG Bay. So, not the least bit surprised to see Kelazhur comfortably chilling at the top of the ramp. Once that Cyclone comes out, NightMare's going to have no chance of getting any real damage done. Oh, Cyclone dealt with the Zealot. He gets a lock on, and wow, Kelazhur, he's obviously done this style before, trying to work the bushes there as NightMare, but he's prepared for any eventuality. He is ready and is able to shut down the first couple Stalkers. I'm not sure where this leaves us, because Blink is on the way. He's already blunted any sort of early aggression. There's no robotics facility. Kelazhur, not very interested in doing anything too aggressive past this, unless he's going to move out right at the start before Blink, but I think that's unlikely. A low economy, high pressure start. Robo starts as well. And if I can say the word start like 3 or 4 more times, I'll finally fulfill my quota. There goes the Reaper. Citizens arrest. The probes have had enough. Cyclone is spotted and killed. The Marines can't risk getting picked off one by one as well. A little bit of a slip there. Stim on the way. Still no starport out of Kelazhur. Third base for NightMare. Both sides still pulling back, feeling it out. Everybody calm down. Ooh, even a shield battery at the front. NightMare wasn't sure if there'd be some sort of follow-up attack. He put it at the... I think he was expecting Hellions. But... especially with a wall-off, because a wall-off is really only for Hellions. Otherwise, it can be used against you pretty easily, as almost all other Terran units will take advantage of it. Hallucinated Phoenix. Blank is done. So the Hallucinated Phoenix opens up an opportunity into the main, but Kelazhur already has some units there. Looks like he's setting up for a third command center. Well, you can't get into the main if you lose the Phoenix, so... Charge on the way. Robotics Bay as well. How many gateways? Only 3 gateways. As he goes straight into Colossi. 3 Nexus, 3 gateways, and pumping out of the Robo. He's got the Stalkers in a prism. You can't lose that prism. That prism is the only thing that's going to give you. You saw the prism. Yo, okay. He got the lock, and he actually built another clone. Oh, he got it from downtown. Oh, no. That's a disaster for the Korean Protoss. Oh, that was the only thing that was going to keep him anywhere close to his base. There's nothing stopping Kelazhur from moving out. The second Cyclone really made the difference here. Usually players will one and done. All right, you lose the clone, it's gone. But yeah, he loses this one. That one wasn't nearly as important. He already got the prism kill with the clone. There's not remotely close to enough units. Even a Colossus is not going to change the equation too much. The shield battery is not in position to deal with this. He evacuates the third, and Kelazhur off to a roaring start in the winner's match. Couple medivacs, yeah. Well, the start port was pretty late, so it has paid off for him, but ooh, nice pick off. Yep, he gets one of those medivacs. So far, Kelazhur has not stemmed. He's held on to it smartly. But NightMare, this is a bit of a nightmare for him. As Kelazhur, he's already got a third command center. Well, he just started it. That's not the... surprise! NightMare with a handful of units caught out. More of a mental victory than anything else, but not a good sign, to say the least. Well, two Colossi is something. He's got a stim. There's only the Guardian Shield. No force fields. Not nearly enough energy here. Maybe one. Colossi, no shield battery overcharge yet. Gonna jam the Widowmines in as well. Damage is being dealt. Shield battery overcharge is still on the table. 3 Colossi. Kelazhur taking some pretty heavy losses fighting this. But not nearly as heavy as NightMare has so far. About double the minerals lost. I think 1 or 2 Zealot counterattack easily dealt with. One of the very few gateways taken out. Charge lots in. Shield battery overcharge. Best opportunity for NightMare. He picked his battle well. The 3 Colossi plus shield battery overcharge means Kelazhur's gonna have to back off for now. Yeah. NightMare finding a good timing to survive, but just like Silky in the match before, it's not so much about turning the tables on Kelazhur, but well, one Marauder couldn't find a spot. 5 medevacs loaded up, boosters ready, and he heads for the main. 4 Stalkers are not even remotely close to a match for this. An insultingly low amount as the Terran army unloads. A drop of doom in the main base. The production unpowered. The Nexus under fire. The Colossi eating your Widowmine hit. Shield batteries nowhere to be seen. The Nexus is down. And he can just pick up and get out. 2 more Widowmines. Even the Sentry he picks up. Oh my god, he gets 1 medevac, but Kelazhur didn't load that one. Beautifully done. Just slices out a chunk of the main and gets out almost for free. Kelazhur clearly in command of this match. NightMare on borrowed time. Widowmines get some more. Does he have an armory done? Yes. Is the robo still existing? Yes. Is there an observer? Very technically, yes, as he needs to deal with those mines, but Kelazhur back at home. Wow, 150 to 92 supply. That is a hill to climb. NightMare's been getting his production shut down. He's been getting his units shaved off by mines. He hasn't really had an opportunity for a heads-up fight, and at this point, I don't think he's gonna get one. Viking count is dangerous enough. The bio army is sufficiently hefty. He stims, he splits, overcharge, battery's dead. Vikings driving back the Colossi, the concave, more than enough to keep them from engaging. Gonna try to retreat to his natural again, but Kelazhur has a third during all this. NightMare decides it's time to go. Disruptor's on the field, throws out a shot. Kelazhur backs off. Another shot is on the table, and it almost only hits Zealots. 0 for 2 on the Disruptors, but I mean, this is the worst case scenario to use them. You can just run away. NightMare 2 Gs. And game 1 to the Brazilian Terran. A comfortable victory. Well, Kelazhur looking very good right now. I wanna point out, I'm looking at the score screen. NightMare had 457 APM in that last match. Which I'm just throwing that out there. Kelazhur had 350. No slouch, of course, but I'm not sure what he was doing with it. Okay, I'm not one to judge, but an interesting choice. Well, we're jumping into game 2. It's going to be inside and out. Thank you for joining me here in DreamHack Atlanta 2022. We're in the first group stage. We're just getting started. I hope you enjoy. All right. I expected the countdown to begin, and I wouldn't have to fill any more time, but... Oh, there we go. All right. As you can tell, the countdown has begun in game 2. And then there's another countdown at the start of the game, which is how exciting these matches are. Here we go. Winner's match, Kelazhur up 1-0. And it wasn't close. It was not close. Do not let anyone lie to you. All right, that was quite one-sided. NightMare was... He kind of lost control of the situation from the first NG Bay. I wonder what Kelazhur has in store for us. All right, NightMare. Maybe it's time for some curiously placed pylons. Or something along those lines. We'll have to see. Probe comes in. Probe. 100% of doctors recommend you do not interact with probes if you have high blood pressure. Unfortunately, everyone who plays Terran has high blood pressure, and also not quick to take that advice. Double gas, and oh, I'm not locked in here with you. Well, he's gonna keep the probe in his base. Well, that's not the only probe on the map, though. A very, very curious Stargate? I think so. We're gonna start things off pretty dramatically. It looks like a Stargate proxy. And at the same time, Kelazhur's going for the heavy tech on one base. So this could be a very short game, depending on what the players choose. Down goes the probe. Stargate on the way. Adept. Now, does he put a tech lab on the factory immediately? That's the question. If he does, then he could have a cyclone in time. If he doesn't, he's probably relying on a widow mine. And if he builds a Hellion, that is neither a cyclone nor a widow mine. Thank you for following along. I can also explain what all the units do, but we'll save that for later. A Nexus and a command center. 2 Reapers from Kelazhur, but he's not. He's going straight across the map. There's a single Adept at home. Yep. All right, buckle up. This is going to get weird, because the Oracle is certainly going to do damage, but these Reapers and Hellion are quite dangerous as well. The Adept should be enough. Beautiful positioning here. The inner wall will zone out the Reapers. Beautiful grenade. Keeps one alive. Hellion's at the natural. Here comes the Oracle on the other side. Hellion getting in. Target fire. Where's the reaction? There's literally nothing to stop this. There's nothing at all. Some of them have already been softened up. He's gonna try to out-repair the Oracle, which is technically possible-ish. Like, it's a bit of a disaster for the Brazilian Terran, but I guess it could have been worse. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad, but it definitely could have been worse. 9 SCVs. That's how we'll console ourselves. NightMare only has 28 probes, which is a lead, but somewhat blunted by the Reaper Hellion. There is still a Reaper out, and Kelazhur has some production online, and very importantly, don't forget those mules. Non-Terrans never do. That will leave a slight lead here in income for NightMare, but not a decisive one. I think a big key point of this is Kelazhur has 2 racks and a factory online, whereas right now, it's just 1 gate for NightMare. He's getting a Twilight, he's adding on more production, but that means it's going to be a little bit till his unit count comes online, and that gives Kelazhur a bit of breathing room to try to make up the ground. And he found the Stargate. There was a suspicious lack of Stargate in the main. Yeah. He can do that math. Oracle looking for more. Already got 9 kills, but that is not nearly enough. Oh, triple Cyclone. Ooh. Triple Cyclone here, and especially against a relatively small unit count. The more units your opponent has, it doesn't really matter which units, the worse Cyclones get. Their single target lock-on is key. Oh, he's going to lock in with a second, gets the scan, and he actually spots the Stalkers, but the Stalkers blink in as the Cyclone goes down. He's going to get one. He's going to go play ring around the rocks here. Eventually, the Blink Stalkers will be able to chase it down, but leading him on a merry chase. Oh my god, he's going to have to blink again. Not again. Another set of Stalkers, but Kelazhur bought about as much time as he ever could. Well. A tank. He built another Cyclone, okay. I guess that... No, wait, that was the 3rd Cyclone from earlier. It's too many Cyclones. I'm not the Weather Channel. I can't keep track of this many Cyclones. 2 of them were sent out. Got the Oracle. Spotted the Stalkers. Blink Stalker's still a very real threat here. And he's in. He's in. He's gonna go for it. Is Stim already done? Yes. Tank comes out. Gets bullied a little bit by the Bio Army, but able to siege up. NightMare blinking away. This game is a lot closer than the previous one. Honestly, Kelazhur recovered quite well from that early damage. He did some of his own, And overall, NightMare's position is tenuous. While he does have a third base and he has a decent worker count, he doesn't have that many gates. 6? Okay, well, 6 going on 7. No forge. Getting a dark shrine, which is certainly a choice. It's just going to be mass gateway units against the triple threat Terran coming together. I'm talking stim. I'm talking combat shield. I'm talking +1. And Kelazhur even splurging on a medevac, which he's been kind of light on in this series so far. The DTs. NightMare definitely playing full Protoss so far. The DTs are a huge gamble. High risk, high reward in this scenario. If Kelazhur figures it out, or if he just has scans ready, then he can't fight this army. He's going to lose to this army. But if it's DTs. So, that's my counter-argument. Those force fields, well, the boys! Hold, please. The boys. Wait. Oh, the zealots in the main, though. Well, I don't know if the boys came because of the domestic abuses at home or because of just part of the strategy, but things are getting going a little sideways here for the Brazilian Terran. He does have a scan. More DTs warped in at home. This isn't really a hurry up and wait situation. This is a win the game now, or we're going to game 3 for Kelazhur. Shield battery overcharged, patting the gateway on the back. Another scan deals with it, but at some point he's going to run out of orbitals. Kelazhur, he's jammed in between the natural and the 30, slapping down a missile turret. Does he? Nope. He's not even close to a scan. It's bad. It's really bad. Yeah. Well. He's making another missile turn. Good luck with that. Another DT as NightMare. Well, nope. He's trying to out-micro the DTs, but then, oh yeah, the rest of the army. Oh, a NightMare here for Kelazhur. And he gets cleaned up, and 1-1. Drawing things even. A spicy game, too. Kelazhur going from the Proxy Stargate into the Dark Templar build. An absolute Protoss classic. And now that means we're one game away from figuring out who's moving on. Close match so far. Kelazhur, I can't imagine super happy about that one. We'll see what game 3 is all about. NightMare really embracing that Protoss style. It's like, I'm gonna proxy a Stargate, and you know what upgrades I like? The Dark Shrine. That's not an upgrade, NightMare. That it's a building. It's an upgrade for my army. Data C is game 3. And here we go. Players, once the series gets started, we go. That's how these events work. It's time. Game 3, Data C. In the top right is Kelazhur, taking game 1 for Team Liquid and the Terrans. In the bottom left, in very Protoss manner, a solid proxy into DT play from the Korean Protoss from Team GP. It is NightMare. Data C is well considered our most even macro map, especially with no Zergs involved here. We'll see what the players decide on. Kelazhur has been very consistent. He's chosen those middle-of-the-road macro builds, and up until last game, they've served him well. But Probes. Okay. Probes. Need I say more? I mean, that's literally my job, but the probes in that last game causing a lot of trouble from the early game. You know, the first probe softened up like 3 or 4 SCVs because Kelazhur locked him in, so he angrily started tasing SCVs, and 95% of the time, that's not a big deal, okay? It's annoying, but the thing is, that actually made it easier for the Oracle to get 2 or 3 extra kills. So, while the probe doing some laser tonguing is usually not a game-breaking move, it contributed. It contributed to the filthy cheese effort of NightMare. Reaper comes out. Probe, getting a few more tastes here. Fun fact, if you do even a single probe hit to SCVs, that means it dies in 1 less hit to Adepts and to Oracles, which otherwise it would have 1 HP. So there is a method to the intimate madness. Shh. The music says I should be quiet, so I'm going to be... We're going to whisper. No, we're not, but... I'm not used to using the in-game music. It's a little weird. Taps the watchtower. Not that there's anything to see there. There's a Reaper wall. A Twilight Council. NightMare loving the Twilight Council. Oh, does he see it? Oh, he did it! He did it! He did the thing with the grenade! He did it! Oh! He did the bounce! Oh, like 1 out of... Even when Maru does, like 1 out of 5 times, he gets in. He sees it all. Oh, Reaper wall? Check out these moves. Oh my god. Well, I award Kelazhur MVP of this series. Unilaterally, I don't care who wins. Finally, I don't even know. There's a trick to it, but not even Maru can do it consistently. So Kelazhur, obviously, the Reaper gods are with him. We have a Widowmine and 6 Marines. He knows it is a Twilight, which means he's safe to move out with all his anti-air units. There's not a proxy Stargate. There's nothing coming into his main. And that means he might be able to get away with this with very little risk. Already unloading NightMare. No units in the entirety of the main base. And this time Kelazhur uncontested in the early pressure. 5 kills. A ton of mining time lost. And gets out with the medevac and all but the Widowmine. So, a win for Kelazhur so far. Adapt into the natural. Oh. 4 Marines should be enough, but Adapt very slippery. One of the top 5 most slippery StarCraft units. Unfortunately, Widowmines don't care how slippery you are. They lock directly on. Reaper's top 3, for sure. Raven, waiting for an opportunity. No third base from NightMare. Yeah, Auditor comes in, and when you're already light on the unit count, spread so thin, these little things add up. It gets harder and harder to have units in position, because if you have to keep all your units pinned at home, the main advantage of the Blank Stalkers is taking map control early. Getting out there, kind of shutting down any sort of drops, Raven, run-bys, and safely taking a third. But Kelazhur's already undercut that with the drop. This Raven just keeps doing damage. The Blank Stalkers are sitting in their base. Okay, that's like keeping your Bugatti in the garage. When I keep my Bugatti in the garage, it's because I'm busy casting StarCraft tournaments all day, not because I don't want to show it off to the I don't know, people who like it. So it's exactly like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, 100%. How many Lamborghinis do you have in your Lamborghini account? That's the question I'm asking. But I'm done asking questions. I'm more busy deciding if Kelazhur's just going to walk across the map and kill him. There's going to be one Colossus, but we're up against a Raven, which it looks like he's just going to continue using the energy for auto turrets, so no interference matrix. There's just not that many ground units. A Colossus is not something that cannot be dealt with. 2, really not until 3 can you reliably push back a bio. Ooh, the target fire. Okay, this is 42 to 49 workers. It's not great. It is severely ungood for the Korean Protoss right now. And Kelazhur understands the main weakness. He can't be everywhere at once. Kelazhur has way more army supply to work with, and he has medevacs. Well known for splitting the army into bite-sized pieces and taking them out. The Twilight is vulnerable to Reaper Wall, even the Cyber Core with it, warping in. The army has to scramble back towards the main. The Twilight Coatings charge, it's gone. Alright, the Zealot's gone. Even more. That just roasting through some of the Marines. Kelazhur are gonna be forced to pick up and get out, but losing the Twilight. No charge for NightMare. Auto turret at the back, more kills, rest the army over to the right flank. $125 to 100 supply. That army, that is the least vulnerable to Colossi that ground units can get. Slips through the force fields. The drops are ready towards the main. There is some army here. He restarts charge. No forge at all for NightMare. Yeah, the drops boost away, actually. Sees the Colossus holding in the main. Kelazhur playing it safe here. The biggest risk is overextending and then allowing NightMare to walk across the map with a death ball, essentially. If he ends up losing half his army, that is a risk. So instead, why not load up your entire army into medevacs and go into the main? The Observer, in position to see this, he's just gonna threaten. It's about the implication. It's not that he's gonna drop the main, it's that he could drop the main. That's the important part here. Well, NightMare trying to pick a fight, has some Colossi, extended thermal lance, only outranged by the siege tanks. The Reaper wall, and wall with an asterisk after what we saw here today. We'll go down, and with it the Cyber Core, kind of an important part of making Stalkers. The auto turret's still going to work, but now a shield battery. Raven kind of awkwardly back there this whole game. Kelazhur carving through. Oh, and he picks up. Oh my god, he's just gonna dunk on him. He's dropping all over the top. The Colossus on the run, but where? He's already at his main. The shield battery overcharge helping out a lot, but the Colossus is knocked down. A bunch of the charge lots on the wrong side of history. Well, shield battery overcharge is doing a lot here. It's keeping those Zealots intact, and meanwhile, a huge Zealot counterattack. 16 SCVs down, but a drop in the third gonna match it. At the end of the day, while it wasn't an overwhelming victory for Kelazhur, it is still a victory. He got a Colossus, he's got a bunch of probes, and even though he took maybe a bit too much damage on the other side, it is a win for him across the board. He's gonna have 1-1 done. I don't think NightMare has built a forge in 3 games, so the upgrade advantage will, by default, go to Kelazhur. Well, Disruptors, Templar Archives. Did he rebuild? He rebuilt the Cyber Core, right? Yeah, he did. There's still... there's a lot of... Well, I get the... water space here that the ground units can't reach. Templar back there for some feedback. The Disruptors are NightMare's only hope. But he doesn't have any vision of the army that's about to show up on his doorstep. Is that more Marauders? He has more Marauders than Marines here. 25 Marauders to 24 Marines. Oh, Disruptor shot. Gets a Widow Mine. Another shot. Kelazhur not taking any chances. 2 Forges for NightMare, who begrudgingly admits that upgrades are pretty good. Well, shield battery overcharge from the back, trying to buy time for some more Disruptor cooldowns. NightMare not finding that much right now. The Disruptors have reloaded, and Kelazhur zoned out again. We got 4 Disruptors now, which means at some point we're going to need Liberators or tanks or something along those lines. You get enough Disruptors and they are the most dangerous force fields. NightMare is nearly... it's about 6 Disruptors when you can essentially always have a shot off cooldown. Kelazhur's up 50 supply. So if NightMare makes one mistake, it's over. But he does have an army that can easily turn things around. This many Disruptors have turned games before. But Kelazhur is clearly respecting them right now. As instead of worrying about trying to fight into them, he's going to go around. He's got 2-2 on the way. He's got a 4th base nearly completed. Of course, NightMare has his 4th as well. Ghosts, enhanced shockwaves, goes great, essentially just against Protoss. As everything has shields. Oh, he goes in. The entire volley, broadside! But gets some damage, and Kelazhur just picks up, slips away. As, well, how many Ruptors? He only got 1. A bit of a panic volley there, but, I mean, what are you gonna do? The rest of the army, Kelazhur kind of rethinking it. He's maxed out, though. He's maxed out. It's not gonna get any better from here. And I think we should see a bit more decisive aggression out of the Terran. There's nothing else he can add to the army. He's got the upgrades. Nothing important finishing anytime soon. Disruptor shots. NightMare keeping at least some of his powder dry here. There are no Liberators, so there's nothing that would directly zone out the Ruptors. But, well, shield battery overcharge. Another shot. Oh, that's a big hit. That's a big hit. Oh, fusion core on the way. Yeah, that hit prompted. You know what? Okay, fine. EMP's another hit. Yeah, that hit him so hard it knocked some sense into him. Advanced ballistics on the table. Meanwhile, another army. NightMare still dividing his army well. There's no Disruptors down here, though. Stalkers are not going to cut it. They're not even going to cut melted butter. That's how much damage Stalkers do, especially with this upgrade disadvantage. Here comes some Colossi. There's still units at the back here. A full energy Raven picks up, heads for the main. No. That's going to be a no. That's going to be a hard no. Capital letters. Okay. Disruptor goes down. 1 medevac. EMP. A lot of bad things happen there. Most of them Terran related. Advanced ballistics on the way as Kelazhur admits that Disruptors are somewhat dangerous. Alright, there's a probe, I guess, scouting out here. Oh, he killed the beetle! Oh, not even the wildlife will survive Kelazhur. Thing is, NightMare, for one, begrudgingly has gotten upgrades. So, that means his army is getting closer and closer to parity with Kelazhur. Both in supply and in upgrades. And Kelazhur really took his sweet time on getting the Liberators. If NightMare holds a little bit longer, he has the opportunity to start doing some counter-aggression. So, the Liberator count is growing, and there is no Stargate, which will eventually be required of him. I mean, he hasn't shown any libs yet, so he's going to have about 5, and he still hasn't sent any across the map. Disruptors wandering forward, trying to participate, but a group hug isn't going to be it. Disruptor shots, mostly for intimidation. High-sec auto-tracking as a +3 infantry attack completes. Another army, that's 3. Oh, but EMP wipes away the shields. Archons evaporate. Triple Stargate here and DT Blink for NightMare. As he's realizing the situation, either he spotted the Liberators or he knows where it's headed. As he's waited this long with this many Raptors and Kelazhur has not tried to end the game, which means he's obviously up to something. And it's pretty clear what that something is. DTs. There's not many reinforcements because Kelazhur is maxed out. That means not too much is coming out of the racks. Oh, is he going to try to go for the beachhead strat in the main? That is so many Liberators. There's no storm. Half a dozen siege up before NightMare reacts. He blinks in, but I'm not sure that's going to help. He's got some stalkers from the high ground, but the Venn diagram of freedom is absolutely crushing. Oh, far too much. Terrible, terrible damage dealt to those stalkers that panicked and sent in. Disruptors working around the edges, though. The Liberators aren't covering as much as they could. Another Raptor hit. It looks like this Nexus is gonna go down. NightMare dropping heavily, though. EMP. Marauders. Stutter stepping forward. Disruptors down, and the Disruptor count is set back to 2. The Liberators are revealed, and with it, disaster for NightMare. He carves his way into this northern base. NightMare, the reinforcements headed across the map. Liberator sieging up in a bit of an awkward position. How many libs on the map? 6. Against 0 Stargate units. NightMare. He almost drew even on supply, but that was just because Kelazhur was spending his time building a better army. And advanced ballistics is done already. He didn't reveal the libs until it was almost done. At maximum power here. I guess besides the +2 ship weapons. +2 ship weapons allows you to one-shot stalkers with no shields. And since ghosts are a permanent component of this army, good luck with the shields. Whoa, feedbacks. He's really regretting that lack of storm right now. NightMare not able to find his way. Oh, the Disruptors are wandering into the... Oh, no! Oh, he shoots himself in the foot. Another nice shot, but that Disruptor shot got dragged in. NightMare out of options, out of real estate, out of supply, and out of this game. As Kelazhur will take it. 2-1. NightMare still coming to grips with it, but... yeah, there is no coming back from that.